Hey everybody, welcome back to The Pressing Matters. I'm Scott. Thank you for tuning in today. Thank you for your support. Please forgive my disheveled appearance. I have been busy, not only with work because I'm an essential worker, but to prep for this hurricane. Now it seems that Miami is out of the cone, so we're out of harm's way, but we're starting to see gusts of wind, and you'll probably see that as this video goes on. But I am safe, and everything is okay. Everything is secured. I don't think we're going to have any problems here in Miami, thank God. My prayers are with everyone that is up north in the eye of the storm. So hopefully things will be okay up there as well. So I wanted to touch on a tape to LP comparison again. I got so excited about this last one. If you haven't seen it, please watch the video. It was for a Command record. This is the first ever Command release, Persuasive Percussion, and this is the tape. I am playing back these tapes on a restored Revox A77 that is on loan from Oswaldo Martinez at Let There Be Sound. I got so excited about this, I immediately jumped on eBay and I said, I got to order some more Command tapes, and I did. I ordered two of one of my favorite artists on Command, and that's Tony Mottola, a guitarist. Tony was working in the industry before Command Records. He had a few minor successes before that and produced a string of solo albums, not only for Command, but for the label that followed Command, which is called Project 3. He's joined by some of the cream of the crop of the Command stable of musicians, including Doc Severinsen. The two that I ordered was this one, Roman guitar, which is RS4T816. So that's a little earlier. There you go. There's a gust of wind. The second one is called Spanish guitar, and this one came a little bit later. It is RS4T841. I have both of the records for these releases as well. I only have one copy of Spanish guitar, and I think I have two of Roman guitar. These are both the green and gold label pressings. This particular Spanish guitar release came with this, which is really cool. So you can see some of the other releases there, including classical. Yeah, I love these things that go along with these Command records. So this was very interesting. I hadn't really visited these two albums in a while. Roman guitar, as I said, came earlier, and I think it bears the trademarks of the earlier Command releases. Very extreme separation, very sparkling arrangements. It's not real, I don't know, it's not a real showcase for the guitar. It's sort of everything going on at once. There's accordions, there's just about everything on this tape. It is fun though, and the highlights are really good. I'm going to show you the label on this one because it's a little different than the label that I got the first time. By the way, these both came off of eBay. And it's a pretty plain label. The reel looks like sparkling clean. I think this is like probably never been played. It's got, the previous owner did some leader tape there, so that's the pink you see, and he taped it down on the back. Obviously well cared for, as are the boxes. These were $14.95 each, so not very much money at all. let me just show you Spanish guitar. So Spanish guitar looks like this. This looks like the first tape that I got, this label. So I don't know, it seems to me like this is probably the original label and this tape might have been produced later. I'm not really sure, but again, it's from the same collection. These were both from the same person. And nicely done leader tape and so forth. So these arrived beautiful. I am convinced they are the original tape on there. You know, with tape, sometimes if someone wants to play a game, they could remove the original tape and put in a copy. But I don't think that was the case here. Their boxes are a little inconsistent. So this is like a little tab for this box, and it's on the side like that. For Roman guitar, it's on the bottom. So this lifts up this way. I don't want to break one of these boxes because they're in such nice shape. So you have to kind of pay attention to that. So I did the setup the same way I did the last one. Level matched the output of the Revox A77 to the system. So whatever the record would play back at, I would use a dB meter and make sure that the signal from each was the same. So there wasn't any influence of volume over the proceedings. Fortunately, both of these records were in very, very good shape. So there was no ticks or pops, very little surface noise. That wasn't an issue. I did notice on the Roman guitar tape that there was a little more hiss than on Spanish guitar. I don't know why. It wasn't obtrusive by any means. As a matter of fact, I enjoyed hearing the hiss. It surprises me, though, that the hiss can be on the tape and not carry over onto the record. The records are quite quiet. Both of these records were Indianapolis pressings, so they were done at the RCA plant in Indianapolis. Let me show you what the label looks like. I kind of laughed when I saw this inner sleeve because I don't know if you remember these. These were the original rice paper sleeves. Well, for some of us, VRP sleeves from Disc Washer. You remember Disc Washer? They were those wooden handle velvet pad brushes. Yep, they made sleeves too. So this I can tell right away. I've talked about this before. You can tell when you have an Indianapolis pressing in your hands. It has a rounded edge, it has a certain weight, it feels like a quality product, and it is. So that is the label of both of these pressings. So very, very good pressings, the cream of the crop, and the tapes were great, in great shape too. So what did I hear? Well, in the last one, I talked about how the record seemed smaller scaled, but more brilliant in some ways, more concise and less expansive. It's not that the records don't sound good, they do. It's just that the tape, for whatever reason, has a more expansive sound. So, for instance, when I switched back and forth between tape and disc, sound staging characteristics were much different. The record was a tighter, more concise stage where the tape was kind of billowing out and being very room-filling and attractive for sure. Which one is more correct? I think probably the tape, but probably some compromises had to be made to cut the disc. So sound staging is one characteristic where the tape generally has been winning out, especially with these command releases. Now, I did some classical releases on Vanguard too, which I'll talk about in another video. This is just going to be for these command releases. I find overall that the tape gives you a more accurate representation of the instruments, the tonality of the instruments. This was really important. It's something that I noticed because of a recent experience. I recently went to the symphony to see, it was Barber's Violin Concerto, Beethoven's Leonore Overture, and Mendelssohn's Italian Symphony. So I got to hear quite a range of instruments in this performance in a real space. And to me, the tape playback sounds more like what I heard in the concert hall, a more natural sounding representation of those instruments. Even though this is totally apples and oranges, this is a studio recording used, with microphones specialized for each instrument. The record playback is a little more brilliant sounding than I heard in real life. And it's more brilliant sounding than I hear on the tape. Do I have a preference? I slightly prefer the tape now that I've heard it. I think these particular tapes, Command, are produced to a very high standard. They reveal more information, there's no question about it. There were times when I switched back and forth where perhaps bongo hits or some kind of percussion was just buried on the LP, and on the tape it was clear and bathed in a bed of air. So even though there's more hiss on the tape, it's also more air around the instruments, more space and everything. So the hiss slowly fades from your mind and you focus on the sound. After a while, I went back and forth. I could always tell the difference, but I enjoyed each one on its own. When I really focused on it though, the tape won out in each case. So what does that say? Well, I think it just says that these particular titles from Command are produced really well on tape. They did an excellent job with the 4-track 7.5 IPS tapes. And if you are collecting Command records and you have a tape player, I wouldn't hesitate to get some of the earlier releases. They are very, very good. And oftentimes the tape is elevated over the record. It's much more engaging to listen to. And that's the case I found with this. Musically, I found some of the arrangements and things on this one to be a little too much. It was fun, no question about it, but the gems were scattered throughout this. There was a few cuts that I really didn't want to listen to because there were just too many things going on to attract your attention, to show off the stereo and, their recording technique. This one, Spanish guitar, is much more preferable to me. It still has some elements of percussion and different things like that, but it is more true to the genre, I would say, of Spanish guitar. It really is a showcase for Tony Mottola, who was a master at so many styles. He has a long and extensive career, including film score and TV scores. Just a wonderful, wonderful musician, and joined by the very best on the Command label here. Those are my thoughts on this tape-to-disc comparison. Let me know what you think in the comments. If you'd like to see more along the Command label, I may be interested in picking up a couple more, but I have a lot to go through here. I have 2 Vanguard recordings that are TAS Super Disc List titles. They were reissued by Analog Productions. I have originals, I have the Analog Productions, and I have the tapes. So I think that'll be a very interesting video for you to watch. Until next time, I'm Scott for the Pressing Matters. Have a great day.